Anarchy right now, at least in terms of winning strategies we have seen them actually take games with.
Yeah. Not too many. Few and far between. As we move into picks and bans for game number 2, there is a Victor ban, of course.
No surprise. This time, of course, we are in the land of Callista nerfs on 5.13, but it has still been banned in every single game tonight.
Yep.
So nothing really changing there. Even though KOO let Anarchy have Callista in their last meeting. Didn't really seem overly concerned with it, even when it was more powerful. I thought maybe they would do the same tonight. Just get them to first pick it and then do something else. So Fizz ban comes through. That says...
I wonder who wants to pick a first pick Maokai.
Maybe not a first pick Maokai, but that's a bit of a surprise to me because Ixu likes to play Fizz in the top lane.
That was Rise ban. So apparently, he doesn't like to be Fizz as much as he likes to be alive.
Fair enough. I can sympathize with that sentiment, Doan.
Yeah. Or just being alive over playing Fizz.
So, what are we going to see? They banned out Gragas in the first game, but they're likely going to want to pick it. And TF.
TF, huh?
So, they're actually banning a lot of the champions that they get wins with, interestingly enough.
I was going to say, I mean, KOO isn't exactly known for his fearsome TF, you know?
It would be a very good champion for KOO to play, though. He's the kind of player that champion in particular would allow him to gank for Smeb, and Smeb is good enough that he can carry those games, especially if you have him on a high damage or a very snowbally top laner.
Now, Snowflower did have some pretty good engages on the Alistar last game, so do you consider first picking it?
Sure, Rumble, also potentially a very high priority pick on this patch.
Ezreal as well?
Ezreal as well. They could take the Kog'Maw, which was actually banned in that last game, so that rises in priority. Prey means he's going to be able to get the Corki, which he probably will play. No reason why he wouldn't take that champion unless he thinks that he's got some other better match up his sleeve. And remember, too, that Gorilla has never lost a game as a pro player on Alistar. That is another undefeated champion here on the KOO Tigers.
So you just think Corki Alistar is the way to go here?
You could take that. That was the first round of the draft from Anarchy on Red Side last game. But you don't.
Smeb's Rumble was crazy, though. Wow, Janna Rek'Sai. I was not expecting that, though.
So they're trying to shut down ways to protect the Corki, which is why they're going to early pick the Janna, I think.
Okay.
And also, if they want to go later on for a Corki Ezreal composition, they have a lot of peel. So that's actually a very smart first pick, depending on how they want to play out the rest of this draft. And remember that the KOO Tigers have always been a team that is very good at kiting. Kite comps brought them a lot of success in the spring. They still have a strong record on that, so Lyra may be playing the Evelynn just to get a flank, but they are going to be detected by that Rek'Sai.
Yeah. Maybe will be the Eve. Now, do you still go for like a Lulu and protect the Cog? Guess not. I might just grab Braum Ezreal. Oh, Zed is still available for Mickey, too. That's true.
I think they will be taking that Ezreal. Now, Mickey hasn't had a large degree of success on that champion. Now, the problem is, if they don't take the Maokai now, you don't have to take the Braum because that Janna is definitely going support. And now they have a chance just to take the Ezreal without any real, or the Maokai without any real threat from the Fizz.
Yeah.
And that is a potent counter pick to a Runeglaive Ezreal in the mid lane.
Or just, you know, Vel'Koz Twitch.
Could go for...
Is KOO going to style here? Are they going to try? Nah, this is much better.
I mean, Rumble is a strong pick, too. You can just drop that equalizer and make it so that Ezreal doesn't have a great way to consistently put out damage.
Yeah.
Just zone him off your front line.
You know, it's important, too, for KOO Tigers to get the 2-0 here as well, because they are in second place. KT was closer than they are now after their loss today against SK Telecom, but it's still a situation where over the next few weeks, those points could matter, so might as well go for the 2-0.
Yeah, especially when the KOO KT match is coming up, so that could change quite a bit.
Absolutely. Well, that Ezreal might end up being something else, so maybe a topless Augur?
Yep.
All right.
But it is a Ignite in the top lane right now. Ixu has switched his summoner spells around. So could be a Hecarim.
Well, if it's Maokai, he's probably going to be switching away from that Ignite then.
Yes, yes he will. And that is exactly what he will do, Doa.
Yes.
So there we go, Maokai locked in. So they've got a lot of protection for this poke composition, strong front line.
Well, speaking of poke, it might just be the Varus for Kuro then.
Going poke versus poke.
Oh boy. It's going to be a long laning phase, won't it?
Well, the Varus has been one of Kuro's more successful champions, and he will have that earlier power spike compared to the Ezreal. Of course, both of them are going to be building tier, but oh, well, Ezreal won't be, but the Varus will be building tier, but even so, because his auto attacks are going to be stronger early in the game, that does make it. He can also shoot the piercing arrow through the minion waves, while Ezreal, his Q will stop. So you can kind of hide behind the minions, try and trade effectively with something that goes through the wave, as opposed to what Mickey has, and you have significantly better early wave clear. So
makes sense.
KOO just going with a pretty standard KOO comp. They have a lot of poke here. They've got good backline threat. They have the peel with the Janna. So Anarchy, they're going to take a bit of time to scale on the Ezreal and the Kog'Maw too. So KOO could just take this one in the mid game, get that big siege damage advantage.
That's a big worry if you're Rebels Anarchy. You know, how do you stop the continuous pushing from the KOO Tigers?
Well, you have the Braum, which is nice because you'll be able to stop some of the poke and maybe shield off those turrets so that they can't push like you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that it was a bit cocky for KOO to let Mickey have the Ezreal, because if it goes late, Anarchy's going to be in a great position. There's not enough damage for them to really easily take out the Maokai in the late game, so that could prove problematic. The KOO Tigers need to strike early and hard.
That's right. We'll see if they can do it and take the 2-0. It's time to get in the game, what could be our final game of the night, and see what happens. Let's get in the game. All right, welcome once again to Summoner's Rift. Some Anarchy fans out there somewhere.
Well, we will see if they are indeed fighting, Dilla.
Well, they'll be fighting. The question is, will they be winning any of those fights? That's the thing.
Okay, interesting draft. I mean, I like Anarchy's composition. I think it's a nice comp to be using here. If you can win some of these games, if you can get that advantage and try and drive it home.
Yep. Gorilla going with Hextech Janna, which is the skin that Korean Janna players apparently prefer.
No Fnatic Janna.
Sometimes. That's the other one we see a decent amount.
Wolf plays Fnatic Janna a lot.
Yeah. We even saw TPA Shen. It's a throwback.
Not as much as a throwback of Fnatic as Fnatic Janna.
That's true, too.
You know what's funny about the Fnatic Gragas skin where he carries the Summoner's Cup?
What?
That trophy was not at the Season 1 World Championship.
It's true.
That had not been made yet.
And you can't fill that with liquid. It would just like fall out when you threw it. It doesn't make any sense.
I think what we actually learned is that the Summoner's Cup, inside, there must be a lot of beer. Inside the silver. It's not inside the basin. It's just a beer piñata, if you will.
I'd like to think that at some point that was true. Here comes Gorilla. To be annoying.
He's so good at that.
That's right.
Get all that sweet gold.
Oh, yeah. Use that Spell Thief's Edge. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, wow, he just burns the Ignite onto Lyra just to try to mess up his jungling even more.
Yeah, Ixu getting quite low, too. So Gorilla having a very successful little bout of harassment.
Don't come back.
Anarchy decides to go over there. Meanwhile, we did see that Songyun and Snowflower took the Gromp, which means that they're not going to get a freeze in the top side, and that is not going to be true of KOO. So KOO should have a nice amount of comfort here. I wonder if Anarchy will give Maokai the blue buff. The answer is no. Maokai is just going to recall without the blue buff and try and break this freeze early.
Yeah, luckily. Gorilla was around to make sure no gank was able to happen onto Kuro, and Smeb already getting poked up pretty hard by Songyun.
Yeah, is going to be able to farm some of these minions with his Harpoon, and he's not going to have to be worrying too terribly much because it looks like the wave will be pushing back in his general direction eventually. Gorilla just here to give some extra comfort and allow Smeb some more time just to push up, get some CS with that Flame Spitter. Ixu now down in the bottom side. Looks like he's doing just fine against the Corki with no one else on that portion of the map.
Yep. Well, Lyra coming by the top side, but he's really not going to find any opportunities to do anything. Just putting the ward down, I guess. Huh.
Yeah, well, with Anarchy so far pushed up, you don't want to have them opened up for a Rek'Sai tunnel gank where you can just walk by the try, tunnel behind the wall, and then pop up behind you.
Yep. It's been known to happen.
Both mid laners actually going for...
Wow, nice Q from Kuro.
Yeah, the Flask this game, and that's the thing, is that Mickey is just going to be taking more damage, much easier for Kuro to trade, but again, it's an issue of scaling. That Varus does fall off, and against so many tanky champions, once Evelynn and Maokai get a bit of armor and Snowflower has that unbreakable, Kuro and Prey are going to be pretty darn useless when it comes to the late game.
If that Varus gets rolling, though, we've seen it do pretty amazing things, such as Faker doing more damage than the entire enemy team combined on Varus.
Well, that
happened more than once.
Oh yeah,
with different players.
It's definitely, if you can definitely get that way, but you have to win the game pretty early. Lyra's been standing in this brush forever, just watching Rek'Sai go back and forth, get some wards down in his jungle. Hojin now suspects.
Yeah, they're going to try something. There's the slow, there's the Q, and they can't quite finish him off, but they do force him back to his own home base pretty soon, probably.
And Mickey walking forward right now sees Kuro is starting to run out of mana. No more mana potions for Kuro either.
That does hurt a bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to burn that flask if he really wants to.
Get a little bit of mana from the biscuit, but not a whole lot to speak of.
But now the CS lead really opening up for Smeb on the top side of the map. Hojin gets some more intel deep into the enemy territory. He does get seen by the Wolf Spirit, so has to back out. And Mickey starting to do some work right here, using that Smite just to push this minion wave forward. Hopefully, or hoping rather, that Kuro can lose some of this CS. She does.
Yep. A little bit of a lead early on for Mickey. Aha. The battle of the skill shots. Hojin wins that one.
And it's clearing out immediately, getting that Raptor buff. And so one of the wards neutralized from Snowflower. Smeb playing pretty far back, and now Ixu catching right back up in terms of CS, because there's no one up there right now to help Smeb get close to that minion wave. Gorilla on a warding mission, and now Ixu.
Oh, Prey baited in, and Lyra right there to try to get the kill. They don't secure it, but they do make Prey burn both of his summoners.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be okay because Gorilla was wrapping around the backside of that lane, but they didn't have enough respect for the Evelynn standing in the lane, so that'll be some nice peace of mind for Ixu when it comes to safely laning.
Yeah, going to use the chance to go back, I guess. Those tiny wings Varus has look pretty useless. Don't think they work very well.
Well, he can fly a little bit. He does in his recall animation.
They look more like those little wings you wear if you go to raves or something like that. You see sometimes, you know.
I do know.
Oh, blocked.
Shut down.
That's right.
So first back right now for Mickey. And he will be, what will he buy first? He will be buying, interesting, he will not be buying a Rangers Trailblazer. He is going for kill pressure in lane with a Chilling Smite.
Against the Varus, that seems like a pretty good choice.
Yeah, don't have that mobility, even though Kuro is running the heal, so he does have a bit more speed as a result of that choice.
I mean, it does present a bit of a risk for Mickey in that without the wave clear, he had better get some kills. Otherwise, his turret is not going to last long, and You don't want to give KOO that mid-game advantage.
That's right. I do think that's very risky, but it could pay off because he's not going to have as much control over the lane, which means that Kuro will push forward, and then that Chilling Smite becomes useful as kill pressure because Kuro will have so far to go down the lane.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when it comes to clearing the waves, if he doesn't get that True Shot barrage off cooldown frequently, there could come a point where the Varus and the Corki siege at about 20 minutes could really, really do a lot of damage.
True enough. Kuro is nearly caught up in CS. Not too far down anymore. Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Mickey can actually make this work. It's a bold move, and I suppose bold moves are the kind of the order of business right now.
Well, and if Mickey can get fed, he can absolutely take over this game. Yeah. So I think it's an interesting risk worth taking as you try and steal the blue buff.
He did not. Oh, did he get it? I couldn't tell. Yeah, he did get it. No, or did he get that one? I have no idea. Somebody got it somewhere. Oh, Kuro doesn't have his, so I think he did get it.
No, it's still there, as we can see. The blue buff has spawned, so
it is
not going to. I think it was just a bit of a mistiming.
I guess so.
Blue buff had not yet spawned.
Pick me up. Hojin was coming from the camp, so I thought he had just done it or something like that, or just been doing it.
No, he got chunked though, which is nice. But against Rek'Sai, not going to be the biggest deal in the world. Can just go ahead and heal up with the passive. I guess Rek'Sai goes underground where she eats a lot of healing worms.
Healing worms, high in protein and other delicious nutrients. You know, maybe it's just magical dirt. Eat some magical dirt.
I wonder how Rek'Sai moves better underground in solid dirt and rock than she does above ground.
I don't know. Oh, two-shot barrage, not really connecting with anyone. Rek'Sai appears to be like the queen of moving underground. You know? I don't know. She makes tunnels, though.
Not when
so
she's
maybe there's some sort
moving.
of display. Oh, yeah, you're right. I know that. Maybe that's why she doesn't go all the way underground, you know? It's all the farther she can manage.
I prefer to think that Rek'Sai is some sort of dirt jet engine where she just opens her mouth and it just comes out the other end.
Wow. Well, no wonder. No wonder the grass is so fertile on Summoner's Rift. I think Snowflower stole that Krug, too.
He did.
Well, he stole his own Krug, rather.
He denied the Krug.
That's right.
Lyra really wants this kill.
Yep.
Onto Smeb, and it's not too hard to get it when you have that Maokai. But Smeb has Equalizer, and he has Flash still. Maybe a little bit problematic. They certainly don't have that same kill pressure that they had in their last game.
Yeah, and Smeb, not overheated or anything at the moment. Yeah, they're just going to give that one up.
It's interesting. We haven't seen very much Kuro, or we've seen a lot of Kuro. We haven't seen very much Varus recently. And the one game we saw of Jace since those changes were made to his kit didn't end up well for CJ. And sure, part of that was them playing with subs, but it just seems like teams have really been able to turtle well enough and have enough wave clear to go into the late game where he's just not, these poke champions, especially the AD poke champions, are just not as much of a threat.
Yeah. Runglaive acquired for Mickey now. And who's going to go after this first dragon? KOO could push the lanes if they wanted to. Although Songyun, obviously, with some good wave clearing bottom.
Yeah, he does. And that's even after 6. You know, before 6, Kog'Maw has that preferable matchup versus the Corki. And after 6, he's got just as much poke as Corki does. So it can be a little bit tricky to get Corki even post 6, where he normally shines, an advantage in that matchup.
Yeah, Mickey getting poked pretty hard too, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, the problem too with running that Chilling Smite is you don't have that same level of sustain that you would have with the Ranger's Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Which is actually a big factor because Ezreal is a very squishy champion. And
Snowflower trying to save his ward.
Hojin decides he doesn't really want to commit to that one. Doesn't know where Lyra is. Does now.
They don't have a ton of wards in their jungle just yet. Even less now. Now more.
Thanks for the warding update.
You're welcome.
Less, more, less, more, less, more.
I'll give you a second-by-second update on the number of wards in the jungle. Now less. Oof. Oh, KOO doing exactly what we were worried about seeing for Mickey this game. Mickey not, no wave clear, no sustain, so KOO just pushing up and poking the turret, and with the vision that they've got, there wasn't really a lot of a threat from ganking.
Nope. Not really any at all, as a matter of fact. So we're approaching Trinity Force time for both of our teams. Prey up in the laning phase, despite having to play under his turret for a large majority of this lane. They're just going to check it with a Prey Seeker, make sure there isn't an Eve there while they push up the wave so that they can recall.
Yep. Well, Mickey just trying to save his turret, trying to do what he can. I always wondered with Janna's shield of air on Corki, wouldn't that just mess with the aerodynamics of the whatever he's flying on and just make him crash immediately?
Probably. I mean, I can only assume that having the solidified air around him would actually mean that he could not stay aloft any longer.
There would be no lift to the wings. That's right. Unless the shield also gives it to you, but that'd be a bit excessive.
I don't know. Janna's pretty good at repelling gravity with enough air,
I suppose.
By the way, if Janna was actually able to hover in place like that by blowing air downwards, she would have some sort of, it would literally take like a small jet engine to keep her aloft like that, which means she would be leaving this giant trail of destruction behind her.
Oh, and the ult comes in. KOO knocked up a little bit. There's the equalizer from Smeb, though. They're going to take out the turret. No kills yet, but about as close as it can get.
Well, huge amount of damage, too, onto several members.
Be careful here. Uh-oh, KOO in a little bit of trouble. Flashes out of the two-shot barrage, and now they're going to turn onto Lyra there. Flash knock-up onto Lyra. Smeb comes back in. Helps the kill get picked up. One on each side. Smeb picks one up. Lyra picks one up as well.
Gorilla dies for it, but he got the clutch flash tornado to actually make that play matter.
That's right. All worth it. Oh, and actually, they get top turret in top. Yeah, top. It's getting late, guys. I used all my energy for the first series. Sorry.
Running on fumes now. Well, yeah, they sacrificed that. They made the conscious trade to have Smeb go into the mid lane and take out that tower. And now they are going to have control of that center of the map, but that makes, of course, this Ezreal pretty vulnerable to subsequent ganks should Hojin actually manage to get behind him.
This is going to be one of the later first dragons we've seen in a game recently, too.
Yes, absolutely it will be.
16 minutes and still no real moves towards it by either team. Just wards.
Very calm play from the Green Tigers. And they're at a gold deficit right now. They need to do something about this game, or the Runeglaive Ezreal Kog'Maw combo is going to get out of control.
Yeah.
They haven't really done enough yet to justify their team composition. They've traded evenly in terms of turrets. They need to start getting dragon stacks ASAP, because they really want to be threatening 4 and 5 dragons before it gets too late in this game.
Did they see Lyra go into that brush with the ward? I'm not so sure. And will it finally be dragon time?
Yeah, they wouldn't have seen that, but they are going to push forward now that the minion wave has been
Anarchy
shoved
is
into
right
mid lane.
there.
Smeb has TP, so they're going to look for poke now. Not quite going to land the piercing arrow onto Mickey.
It's close.
But while they're doing this, Ixu is wasting a lot of time on the bottom side. He has to be here because he has no teleport. But that means that Smeb is going to get a lot of time onto the top lane tower as long as KOO can just maintain their current position threatening that dragon.
Well, they're going to give it up for the moment, but coming back down through their jungle now.
Yeah, Anarchy has to start this dragon. They don't have a choice, even though they don't have the speed shrine.
That's right. Will we see Smeb come in, or are they just going to take the top lane turret? Kuro back doing like blue or wolves or something. Yeah, he needs to get there, I feel like. Yeah. Oh, here he comes now. Fires a Q through the team, not bad. Teleport coming in, Smeb is going to be on the scene. Meanwhile, Ixu gets into the backlines, a lot of damage onto Kuro. They pop that summoner heal, now the heal from Gorilla helping out a lot. Even despite the ult from Lyra, they're going to take him down. Anarchy trying to make something happen. Mickey manages to snipe Hojin. Dragon taken by KOO during all this too. Prey goes in, double kill for Mickey now. Oh, Prey.
That
and
was
Anarchy,
a terrible
triple
Valkyrie.
Kill. Oh, man.
He just went straight into the crowd control from Anarchy.
Witness me, brother.
Wow. Some really bad Valkyries tonight from a couple of Corkies. I kind of expect that from Arrow, but I do not expect that from Prey. Really surprising that he thought he was going to be able to make that work. And now KOO they did steal the dragon. They got that. So Hojin was able to get the smite off, but
whoa, that's a lot of damage.
Even so, giving the Runeglaive Ezreal a triple kill, really a bad plan. So as we see right here, Hojin gets around the side, wins the smite battle, and then, I mean, Smeb's there. They got an equalizer down. They're able to get a kill. And at this point, if you're look at this KOO, they can just go bottom and kill that tower immediately. There's nothing Anarchy can do. They have a mini wave. Now, why you would do that instead of walking bottom to kill a turret is a mystery.
Mediocre. Mickey really coming up big with 3 kills in that fight too. Yeah, they're going to try to make a play on the KOO's bot lane here. Prey could be in trouble. They're going to dive the turret with Songin right there as well. It's going to be easy. Lyra picks one up. And now they're going to get the turret as well. This is not going well for the KOO Tigers.
They picked a risky composition. What can I say? They didn't hit their power spike, or they haven't hit it yet, and they're already behind. How do you beat this insanely good late-game team comp from Anarchy? They simply are not going to have the damage to kill Ixu.
Yeah. About as bad as it gets right now. Could get worse, I suppose. They could be knocking on your Nexus. Oh, hello. Mickey with the Zonias after Arcane shifting into a dangerous spot. No more CC, though. Mickey fighting. Tries to go after Gorilla. Gorilla fails his flash. Here comes Snowflower, and Mickey picks up another one. Okay, it's worse.
It's definitely worse right now. Now, Gorilla...
Mickey's going to kill Kuro. Oh, here comes Smeb, though. Arcane shift over the wall. They're going to chase him. Prey comes in for some revenge. He's like, how do you like my Valkyrie now?
Well, they've got to take something off this, though, because trading one for one. Gorilla did all he could right there. He tried. He's also not running exhaust, which is very interesting.
Nice. So there's equalizer on Ixu, who's going to flash over the wall, and it's a little bit dangerous to chase.
So can they turn this into a top lane turret? They've got the wave already prepped there. Corki has the damage necessary to take it out. They already chunked out Ixu. Mickey is dead. And they are going to be going for that objective in the top side. Smeb coming up to help out with Prey. And there you go. Enough wave clear, at least for the moment.
Yep. Should be okay. Still a decent amount of damage to that turret, though. Oh, Kuro actually burned his ult, and he didn't manage to hit Ixu with it. Oops. Oh, True Shot Barrage flashes. That was a close call. I'd trade a True Shot Barrage for a flash any day, though. Still a big win for Anarchy.
And you take away their wave clear from the mid lane, too. So Kuro has to back off. Prey is already back in base now. They're not going to shove forward any further. The KOO Tigers, they do take a tower. Lyra wants to get a blue buff, but that's not really going to be feasible. Mickey doesn't have a True Shot Barrage to actually finish it off from long range.
The gold is fairly even, but this is definitely a messy one. Not the greatest game we've seen from the KOO Tigers this season.
Well, there's a reason why we don't see that much Varus anymore.
So much damage.
And we see teams taking the targeted CC against the Runeglaive Ezreal. And remember, Fizz was banned this game.
Yeah.
KOO had every opportunity to opt into Maokai.
Could have taken the Ezreal themselves as well, too. They're going to find Snowflower in the river, though, and Kuro's going to be able to pick up a kill that way. So nice grab by the KOO Tigers. And now a lot of pressure coming into mid lane.
They have to make this work. I mean, there goes the minion wave.
Yep.
Interesting that Mickey did pick up the Zhonya's Hourglass. We saw Faker getting the Luden's Echo second in that game, but, you know, honestly, if Mickey can, first off, the armor very good against the Varus, clearly, but if Mickey can survive the Equalizer or a Chain of Corruption with the Zhonyas, then what else is going to kill him? There's nothing. Stasis very valuable against this team that relies on landing an Equalizer to actually kill him.
Pretty much. Dragon in about 40 seconds now. And KOO Tigers, again, really needs to get this to keep any sort of momentum on their side in this game. They've already pretty much lost it. But if they get that second Dragon, maybe they can get a little bit back.
They have to get it. I mean, if they don't get it, it is an unmitigated disaster. There's nothing else that they will be really able to do to affect the tempo of this game, barring they just get some miracle picks. But even then, it's a far cry probably from what they need. If they can get a pick and turn it into a Baron, maybe, but it's all sort of misplaced from Anarchy at that stage.
And pretty much. I mean, that is one of KOO's hopes, I suppose, that even though Anarchy is so strong in the late game, they still have the bigger chance of making an error.
That's definitely true. We know the KOO Tigers have some pretty decent shot calling.
Well, gee, where do you think they are? Hard to do this against the Kog'Maw. Yep, that's why.
Especially after he gets level 2 and his ult is just off cooldown so frequently. KOO trying to hold. They are succeeding, at least for the moment, but this game is spiraling out of control for them and into the hands of Anarchy.
Yep, Dragon to spawn. And so if somebody's going to make a move for it, it's going to be now. Lyra takes a bit of poke from the piercing arrows, but they do manage to clear some wards. Oh, that was a nice arrow. That helped. Shot barrage used, though. Big chunk taken out of Gorilla again. So vulnerable to this Ezreal.
Yeah, but Anarchy's already been heavily poked out.
Yeah.
So can they actually follow up with a Dragon attempt? There is no True Shot Barrage for a little bit.
So no Dragon attempt from Anarchy.
KOO actually going back right there.
Yeah, well, he's got a little bit of time now. Goes back, picks up the, I believe it was the Last Whisper, maybe the Brutalizer. Didn't quite see.
Interesting that Mickey has maxed his E second, so he's actually lacking a bit of poke damage that he would normally have with his W. Huh.
I mean, do you get a little bit more damage out of the
Yeah, but you're using
shot that comes out of the E?
Yeah, but you're using that so defensively most of the time that
Could be, yeah.
Now comes the Luden's Echo for Mickey, just nearly finishing that item off.
Yep.
And no one wants to take the Dragon. And you know what? Anarchy's fine with this. Longer than it takes for KOO to actually threaten 5 dragons, which is now at this point going to be epically late in the game. It's not really going to matter.
Yeah. Wow. Still nice poke from Kuro. He's been able to do a lot of damage. They just can't seem to find those team fights, so.
No, they can't get there quite yet.
Yeah.
But they
gotta defend this turret, though.
Just wait. It's all Anarchy has to do. They will be the king of the poke war in the end. They will have the better front line.
Wow, just going right onto this Dragon. Prey's right there, though. They could take a lot of damage. Equalizer comes out, pushes Anarchy back. There's Kuro, gets the ultimate off. That helps quite a bit. Twist advance back onto Prey, but they're going to take out Ixu so fast. True Shot Barrage did a ton of damage. And KOO backing off for the moment. Snowflower nearly picked off by that piercing arrow. Mickey still being a big threat here as KOO goes for their second Dragon. Songyun can poke as well. KOO manages to muscle their way in and get that second Dragon.
Well, Varus is still in the middle of a power spike right now, and Anarchy, they committed to doing the Dragon before they won the poke war, and that Equalizer just did so much damage with the Liandries.
They're going to get a turret out of this as well, too.
Wow. KOO, I'm still not certain this is going to be enough to actually make sure that they get a win in this game, because it's still a very scant gold lead.
Yeah, the 2 dragons do help. The turrets help, but It could go so wrong at any time.
And TP has to be used to save the mid lane tower. Not really an ideal situation. Now you're going to give Ixu some more freedom to where he goes on the map, and you're actually going to have to start using the Rek'Sai probably to push back minion waves.
With Dragon just being taken out, is it that big of a deal to give up the teleport?
Well, there's no Dragon to take from it, but you could certainly get a lot of kills if you're Anarchy and maybe take a Baron as a result. It's
could be
that point in the game. You have a Kog'Maw with the Blade of the Ruined King. You're going to do that Baron extremely rapidly. So KOO is just committing to play defensively, but that is not the strength of their composition.
Well, it looks like for now they're starting to push a little bit anyway.
But they can only play the top side of the map around Smeb.
Yeah.
So they have to group with this 5 and Siege and make sure that they get good flank wards down, which is something that they sort of failed to do in their last match against SK Telecom.
Looks like they're going to try to give up their tier 2 in top lane for maybe their tier 1 in mid, which would be a pretty nice trade to make.
All right, so is Ixu going to come in with the big engage? He's already recalling. He has home guard.
Shot Barrage used. This turret, though, taking a lot of damage, and there's still more minions.
Here we go.
Even on the flank coming in from Anarchy. They take out the turret. Maokai coming from behind. Snowflower there as well, too. Slowed down by the hail of arrows. Hojin goes underground. Ixu tries to get in there. Nice equalizer, and KOO protected with that ultimate. Starting to do a lot of poke damage. A kill for Smeb already. Big arrow comes through and hits Mickey. Prey comes in for the kill onto Ixu, and KOO chasing this one. Songyun very low as well, too. So somehow, some way, KOO Tigers still landing enough poke damage to win these team fights.
The Tigers got so kited.
They kited well.
Yeah, Anarchy got so kited out of that engagement. Now, what we saw was Anarchy trying to get the flank, but KOO read it really nicely. They had the necessary wards and information, so they may actually get a Baron off of it right now.
Oh, here it comes. True Shot Barrage a little bit late, and KOO Tigers will be able to take the Baron as well. So a turret kills the Baron. KOO Tigers suddenly jumping out to a lead that they desperately needed.
Yeah, and that engage was not well coordinated by Anarchy either.
Yeah.
KOO intelligently backing off and turning onto the Maokai. You did not see Mickey or Songyun there to deal any damage before a lot of members of Anarchy had already sustained a huge amount of poke. Now they have the Baron. Now they're in the position where they may actually be able to make a siege that breaks the base here at 30 minutes. So KOO, I mean, they have that good shot calling. They act very well as a unit in tough strategic situations, and they managed to pull it off here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the kind of the big danger for Anarchy as well, too, is that even though their composition might have all these edges, there's still the quote-unquote, rookie team coming into this.
Well, the idea was good there from Anarchy, right? It's just the execution was off. And that's what's so hard, is making these flank attacks and these pincer attacks at the proper time for everybody, so you get the Maokai in right as you're dealing the damage from your carries.
Right.
And in this case, KOO was just very decisive about how they turned the flank. It was a huge minion wave.
Yeah, and they're going to ride it right into the base as well, too. It's poke versus poke. Let's see who comes out on top. Those Baron minions are going to do a lot of work, though. Nice block for Snowflower. He's going to have a lot of work to do to prevent this from coming in. Two-shot Barrage does a good job.
Kuro actually gets shielded by Gorilla to take away the bite from the True Shot Barrage. Trying to retreat. They want to take a tier 2. They may have realized that it might be overly difficult to crack the base right now. Smeb returns to start trimming this top wave as his teleport comes up.
They can just keep these lanes pushed, too, because Dragon is coming up in a minute, and as long as they can have enough comfortable room to fall back and take their third Dragon, they don't really necessarily need much more than that off of this Baron buff.
Yeah, they still have to be worried. They're not ahead enough that this composition is not a threat from Anarchy. Still an uphill battle for KOO.
Of course, yeah. One good True Shot Barrage through the squishy members of KOO, and everything could change.
I'm actually surprised that Kuro has been delaying both a Bloodthirster and a Hex Drinker, instead going for the completion on the Yomu's Ghost Blade, because
just really wants that damage.
I mean, the Hex Drinker would be very helpful. The Overshield from the Bloodthirster in conjunction with the Sustain would be very helpful to him.
That's defensive, man. You get a Yomu's and you just go for it. They're going to have to change the name to Yolomu's.
It's actually a good name for that, I know. Yolomu's.
Yolomu's Ghost Blade. Well, dragging up now, and KOO Tigers can take it very comfortably.
Yep, Smeb going through the jungle. Gonna try and take a blue buff while he's at it. No TP for Ixu, so there's not really a great answer. Good wards from the Tigers at the top, and that is going to be Dragon number 3.
Yeah, they've got that little speed boost now, which is going to be even more
TP,
useful.
TP.
Oh, where are they going? Yeah, going to mid lane, trying to go after Lyra and Songyun. Can they catch him? Doesn't look like it. Oh, but they did catch Snowflower, though, and Kuro should be able to get a kill even with that ultimate used. Yep, goodbye. Zoned by the Prey Seeker. Right into the waiting arrows of Kuro.
The Snowflower Seeker.
That's right.
Oh, that actually, True Shot Barrage didn't do as much as Anarchy would have liked, but with KOO having the Baron buff fall off, now they invested a lot in that TP. So
they did, but again, the dragon is down, so it's not quite as vital as it would have been before, you know? They're always like using the TP for some sort of aggressive or maintenance sort of play right after they take the dragon if they don't need it for that, you know?
Well, they have had a lot of pressure with that Baron too, so that certainly changes things. And what is KOO's game plan now? They don't really have much on the map to take. They could try and set up for a follow-up Baron in a couple of minutes and see if they can land that poke first. It looks like Gorilla is going to be going probably for a second Aegis here, doubling down on that item. He certainly needs some magic resist as one of the squishier members of the team. Finally, Kuro moving towards the Bloodthirster, so at least he has some sustain with the Vamp Scepter right now. Prey also probably looking to get Bloodthirster and then a Banshee's Veil in this game in particular.
Right. Wow, KOO just has a lot of map control right now, but it's amazing just how many wards Anarchy has been able to get out on the map, although I think they're all about to expire, some of the deeper ones.
Yeah, are not likely to last very long in any case as KOO starts peppering the Baron area. Snowflower's had some weird unbreakables this game.
I know, yeah.
Been quite at the right angle. He's not as adept a Braum player as some other players we have seen in this league.
I guess so. He's missed a couple of those. I wonder if he's got it on SmartCast or something like that.
It's probably not a good way to use that ability.
Yeah, I don't think so, yeah. Because he's messing it up so consistently, you know? I mean, yeah, you can get it up faster with SmartCast, of course, but you also have a good chance of just accidentally having your mouse cursor in the wrong place.
All right, Ixu maybe wants to find a flank again. He only has a couple viable wards to TP to, and KOO's going to see him coming from a mile away.
I think a good tip with using that ability on Braum is to not like try to click right in front of Braum where you want to aim the shield, but just click on the person that's shooting it at you. Because then it'll put it up right, the right angle.
There you go. Yeah. Braum tips.
And then your mouse cursor is always in the right place to shoot a Q at him too.
Oh, flash.
Oh, Prey takes a big damage. A big damage from that two-shot barrage. Grammar escapes me, and Anarchy does push the KOO Tigers back a little bit. They need to be careful here, too, because Baron is up in 20 seconds, and they can't afford to be poked
and they
too
have
much.
No vision around that objective. They also have no true shot barrage anymore, and it looks like Varus and Corki will be able to heal up just a little bit off of some wards and jungle camps, but Anarchy doing a good job of repelling the siege for now.
Makes sense. Oh, Mickey was knocked up by that whirlwind, took a pretty big amount of damage.
Oh, they found Lyra.
Yeah, they did, and Ixu in a lot of trouble too. This is not looking good for Anarchy right now. Lyra over the wall. Here comes Prey. There's the equalizer, not equalizer, the Valkyrie used. I don't know.
It's a mini equalizer.
I give up.
It's a mini equalizer, Noah.
It's the marginalizer. Mickey fleeing the fight, and with Lyra down, they're just going to go for this inhibitor, it looks like.
Yeah, and Lyra made a big mistake right there. He cannot give up his positioning on this Evelynn, because then KOO knows that it's perfectly safe on their flanks.
Yeah.
And once it's safe on their flanks, they can play a little bit more aggressively, and they catch him out. So Anarchy looked good for a lot of this game, but KOO has been able to repeatedly make picks, give Anarchy the run around the map, and get themselves a very comfortable gold lead. They're going to pick up another Baron here.
Pretty easy Baron now for the KOO Tigers. Mickey, no true shot barrage. He's trying to get there as fast as he can, as is the rest of Anarchy, but they're not going to make it in time. There's the Baron. They're going to turn right around. Verisalt did not connect. Bramalt did, but here comes Frey over the wall again. Oh, man. Frey, you are psycho today. Wow.
Yeah, you have to be happy right there. You got the Glacial Fissure out. There isn't a True Shot Barrage to use. Just don't play too aggressively right after you got the Baron, and you have super minions already moving into your opponent's base. Play safe, push up the waves, close out the game in a textbook style, because if you throw now, Anarchy can definitely still win this game.
Oh, yeah. Frey's trying. It was a nice attempt there. Valkyrie ahead. He's like, oh, nobody? Okay. It's like Prey and OQ switched bodies for a day or something.
The old Najin sword carries.
Yep.
But
the old ADC switcheroo.
If Prey's going to play like that, he really should just buy a Leandri's Torment.
Yeah, there you go. Or just play Lucian.
Oh, some of his
special.
Some of his dives here and movements forward have not been ill-advised, whether he's playing Corki or Lucian. But just go for the magic damage. That's what I say.
I'm
you
just glad.
Poke people with the rockets with the Leandries, and then come in with the big mini. The mini equalizer. That
big
is
mini equalizer.
The big mini equalizer.
I'm just glad he's not playing Draven.
Well, everyone's glad for that, Doa.
Yeah, it's true. Someday he's going to pick it again, and we'll get to laugh, shake our heads, and wonder why. Why would he play a champion that he's so bad on? Siege coming in.
They
for the
have
KOO
a banner
Tigers
of
now.
command now. That is very annoying to deal with.
Oh yeah, Mickey's going to have a hard time taking that out.
They did not smite the right one.
Oops. Well, they did, but they needed to smite the left one. Wow. All right, here they go. Knock up onto Ixu, a lot of damage onto him, and that's going to be an easy turret. Oh, ultimate used again. KOO has not been connecting with a lot of those Verisalts, but you don't need to. It's forcing the flash. It's doing what it needs to do.
He would have hit it if Ixu didn't flash right there, so that's nice. Meanwhile, banner minion keeps on rolling straight to the Nexus.
The sixth man. Oh, goodbye, Kog'Maw, and goodbye hopes of victory for Anarchy. There's Azonia's Smeb blocking. Ixu trying to come in, but not a lot of damage. Mickey doing what he can, but KOO gets a double kill at the end of all that. Nice heal from Gorilla. Full channel Janna ultimate. And that is going to be it as the KOO Tigers take the 2-0 over Team Anarchy. GG.
Well, that was a bit touch and go for the Tigers, but again, we've seen this from them. When push comes to shove against every team that's not named SK Telecom, their shot calling really can prevail in the end, and so they take that win, 2-0 against Anarchy.
A pretty solid game for Mickey overall, too. I mean, 4-1-1 on that Ezreal, but what can you do? You need your whole team.
Yeah, and there were just some very key picks that the KOO Tigers were able to translate into a couple of Barons, and that was it. They had to get those picks. They